Hey folks, let's talk about the books removed from the Naval Academy Library and what it means. What comes next? So, Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist, number 1 on the list, removed. No surprise, right? Kendi's Stand from the Beginning, again, no surprise, gone. Karen Cox's tremendous No Common Ground, which we just talked about the other day, removed. Maya Angelou, removed. Again, not a surprise. 381 titles have been pulled from the U.S. Naval Academy's Nimitz Library. We know that that's not about curriculum. We know that that's not about debate. And we know that it's not just about history. It's the strategic purge of books. But more importantly, what those books contain of ideas of inquiry. Ones that challenge power, that disrupt hierarchy. Or just ask hard questions to help us understand our world better. So on the face of it, you can read the whole list, which I shared with my Patreon community. It targets race, gender, queerness, history, ethics, literature, memory, justice, and belief. All of the things that the MAGA mind hates. Makes it hurt. It targets poetry and political theory. It targets books on the Holocaust, books on black service in World War II, books on civil rights, books on what it means to think. Even Litcrit didn't escape. Books on the Canterbury Tales got the axe. Ooh, the Pardoner's Tale. Dangerous stuff. This is not an attack on any one subject. It's an assault on thought itself. And this is how authoritarianism works, and always has. This is what we understand through resistance history. Jason Stanley, in How Fascism Works, describes the process with brutal clarity. Fascist politics seeks to undermine political discourse by attacking the concepts of truth and complexity. And you replace it with mythology. And there's a process here. It starts with a systematic removal of ideas that disrupt the dominant narrative. It happened in Nazi Germany. It happened in Stalinist Russia. It happened in Franco's Spain and Pinochet's Chile. And it's happening in the United States today, as we speak, at the highest levels of military education, which has a very special meaning attached to it for us. They don't need bonfires anymore. They just have spreadsheets. And silence. And complicity. So this isn't a history problem. It's a thinking problem. What's being destroyed is not a particular politics or discipline or identity. What's being destroyed is the very possibility of independent thought. Here's the structure. So step 1, eliminate the avenues for thinking. Right? Remove the books, strip the syllabi. Courses are going away from these places. Collapse inquiry. Narrow the scope of questions that you can answer. Take away the capacity for curiosity, for ambiguity, for complexity. Step 2, replace that with dogma. Inject myths of purity, of goodness, of a national destiny. Sanctify a worldview in which white, Christian, cisgender men are always, 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 and only the protagonists, and everyone else exists to support their moral authority. Replace study with repetition, replace exploration with orthodoxy. Out goes Gerald Horne and Imani Perry, in comes John Meacham and Nathaniel Philbrick. And then enforce it. Step 3. Send graduates into the world armed with belief but not knowledge, certainty but not understanding, obedience but no ethics. Anyone who is engaged day to day in social media on these issues understands that framework, because it shows up in their comments and in the people who push back all of the time. Obedience, no ethics. And then declare any counterthought not just wrong, not just un-American, but anti-American. Define dissent as disloyalty, questioning as threat, mark resistance as treason, which is what has already been done in several executive orders. Questioning any of these things is considered anti-American, a threat. That's how you erase not just the content of thought, but the right to think at all. And that's not education. That's programming. It's conditioning. And it's being done to the future leaders of the U.S. military, openly, structurally, deliberately. And they're making no secret about it. So it happened at Annapolis. It will happen at West Point. It's going to happen at Colorado Springs. And after that, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, your state university, your public high school, your local library. They're trying to build a generation of Americans who have never encountered a serious challenge to the narrative of white Christian nationalist triumph and the beautiful, wonderful, perfect patriots behind it. And that generation being taught to view any challenge to that as a form of betrayal. It's not hypothetical. It's happening. But here is what they didn't count on. The rest of us, and actually this great list that they put together, every book they pulled is a record of what they fear. Every single one of them tells us more about them than it does about us. And that list is now a terrific syllabus. It's a counter-canon. It's a resistance archive. So read them. Watch the films rooted in them. Cut them into shareable pieces. Stack the algorithm. They can go ahead and edit their signs. They can go ahead and have the marble. We have the algorithm. Rewrite the feed. Make sure these ideas are everywhere, not hidden away in a seminar room, but on TikTok, Threads, Substack, Instagram, YouTube, in libraries, in classrooms, in homes, in ears, on podcasts, in feeds, and therefore in our minds. This is not about left or right. That kind of old way of thinking doesn't do us any good. This is about truth versus obedience. This is about the survival of thinking in a regime that is openly, proudly trying to kill it. They pulled the books. We make sure they can't pull the ideas. We don't need to wait for permission from anyone. It's one of the joys of working in digital media, particularly through public history and public archaeology, through digital humanities. We teach anyway. We share anyway. And then do that, we resist. Because at this point, telling the truth is absolutely and positively a form of resistance. So get out there. Don't worry about signs. Don't worry about permission. We've got algorithms. We've got feeds. Flood them with the truth.